You can start, Drew.
Can I?
Yeah.
You want me to start? Okay, well, let me unzip. Oh, you mean for the show. What's going on, guys? We are live, coming to you from all over the fucking country. How's it going, everybody? This is Wrestling Memories episode 6, and I can barely see myself on the screen, so I'm sure that'll work itself out. I'm here with JP Baker 91, the host of this channel. How's it going?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, man?
Good. Just staring at a dinner that I haven't started.
Sometimes that happens.
We're also joined by the tattooed mistress herself, Heather. How are you doing, Heather? Are you done laughing?
I'm doing very well and just finished my second to last Zeppeli.
Nice. And there's also a stalker in the room.
Hey, you want some free candy?
Oh my god. I can't take this fucking guy anywhere.
So, what we're doing tonight is Wrestling Memories episode 6. It is going to be an open forum tonight. We're just going to go at it, go long, go hard, however we want to do it. Couple of start-off topics that I wanted to bring up. You know, there's been a lot of injuries in wrestling, especially recently, but some of the most memorable ones to me, I always go to Sid Vicious coming off the top rope. And
one of the most horrific injuries ever. Caught live.
If that dude was wearing sneakers instead of boots, we would have been in for a real shock. Because I guarantee you that thing did not look pretty on the inside either. But JP, do you have any wrestling injuries that really stand out in your mind?
The one that I'm back to that I can definitely remember is the one, well, two actually. When the Undertaker had his orbital bone broken, which led to the Phantom of the Opera type gimmick before he came back, which also led to the two Undertakers gimmick. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And then the Stone Cold Steve Austin injury on Owen Hart's pile driver are two distinct ones that I can.
And you know, something I want to mention about that one is, and understandably so, don't get me wrong, but is that not the worst finish to a wrestling match? I mean, that roll up.
At the thing, yes, it wasn't even a roll up. It's just I'm going to lay on top of you and pretend that I did something to you, which was one of the worst finishes ever. But you could not beat Stone Cold at that time, so the only way to do it was to just finish the match and fuck the botch finish. It worked. It did. Nobody cared. Stone Cold won the match. But yes, right. He was out for a little bit, and then he came back a couple months later, and that's when his big push started.
And Owen was the one as the champion coming into that match, right? So yes. For the title change to take place, he couldn't just like punch the ref in the face and walked out or something, like Jericho did when he shoved the ref that one time with Neville.
Right.
Because then there wasn't even a title on the line; it didn't matter. But
correct.
Well, Heather, what about you? Do you have, if we haven't mentioned it already, do you have a notable wrestling injury that sticks out in your mind?
Broken Cody mentioned it. It was Trexter who mentioned it in the chat when Sid broke his leg. Well as that's flopping around in the no. That a human leg does not need to look like that, people, at all.
Well, someone in the chat, if one of you guys don't remember, there was a college basketball player here a few years ago who had a very similar injury.
I played for Louisville. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, it was higher up on the shin, and I have not seen that color of white since the last time I saw an elephant on a fucking zoo show.
Right.
I mean, that was the whitest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Right. There's a shout out that I got to do real quick. I'm sorry. We had a new subscriber today, and she's actually one of my coworkers. Her YouTube name is Lady July 65. So I told her I'd shout her out tonight. She's a really cool lady. She's into this kind of stuff. So she was asking me questions at lunch about wrestling. So I'm like, I tried explaining to her and like, join the show and we'll fill you in. We'll do the best we can. We have some pretty knowledgeable people on these panels.
Excellent.
I just wanted to shout that out.
And did you mention she was not going to be the only girl?
Yes. I told her if you were going to be on the show, Heather. I did. Come on.
I'm not saying that. No, I'm just saying that she feels more comfortable to have another woman around.
She knows all about you. She knows all about you.
Okay, I wasn't worried.
I know. No, I'm just saying.
Well, either way, welcome to this crazy group of people, especially if you're watching right now. Welcome. Something I wanted to throw out there, and I'm sure many of you saw this in the Twitterverse, but for any time I break the rules, the JP rules, I will be taking a shot of this bad boy immediately after I break that rule. No arguments.
Yeah, that's what got you in trouble fucking last time.
Well, it's about time you didn't whine like a little bitch.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Jesus fucking Christ. And then the stalker has to speak up.
So Stalker, Mystery Stalker Man, 2001. What memorable injuries in wrestling history have you witnessed?
Well, for me, it's probably either Daniel Bryan or Edge.
What an ass.
Which injury to Edge?
The one that ended his career.
Oh, the dive outside the ring at WrestleMania.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Against Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah. Okay.
Another
good
injury, another injury that stands out to me on the women's side, and thank God it wasn't as bad as what it was. She was able to. I think she took like a month off or something. Was the Lita injury? Remember when she dove out on Trish, that match between her and Trish Stratus? I think that was the first main event the women had ever had on
She
Raw.
folded up like accordion the wrong way.
And didn't she win that match too? And won the title that night. Yep. So
Yeah, she did.
That also, I thought I'd throw that out there, was another injury. Even though it did not end her career and it did not cost her any significant time that I can remember, that match right there on Raw, even though there was an injury during it, put women on the map that they can fucking wrestle.
And to go along with that, her counterpart for that match, like 2 weeks later, I think it was, ended up separating her shoulder because of going over the top rope and grabbing onto the apron of the ring and just popped her shoulder out in a match against Mickie James when they started that whole stalker thing with Mickie James and Trish Stratus.
The Undertaker orbital bone thing was mentioned, and that was just saying Undertaker. I actually thought of a different one, JP, when you said that.
Okay.
And that was when Sim Snuka was portraying a cameraman, and he was supposed to catch Undertaker coming over the top rope, and he missed him. And Taker went head first to the mat at WrestleMania. And I think he walked away with a concussion. Fortunately for the fans at the time, we didn't really notice it as much because he only came in so many times a year. So he was able to just walk away and recover. But I remember seeing that thinking, yeah, he might be dead.
I don't remember that. I'm not going to lie. The Finn Balor injury, yeah, I mean, I didn't see that. But the Finn Balor injury wasn't... I mean, I seen it, but it cost him... He tore his labrum, is what it did. And now that's why we're in the fucking quandary we are with the Universal title.
You don't think they would have put it on Brock anyways and we wouldn't still be here today?
I think it'd have been on Lesnar. Or not on Lesnar, I mean Reigns.
It's definitely a discussion to be had.
Let me rephrase this. I think they would have had Finn Balor and Roman Reigns face off at WrestleMania. Had Finn Balor give up the title at WrestleMania. Then Lesnar wins it at SummerSlam, Survivor Series, right? Am I right? SummerSlam, then for Survivor Series. Okay, take the title off of him in Survivor Series and have him hold the title until the Royal Rumble, where Brock Lesnar wins the Rumble. Okay? Then you have the at WrestleMania you would have, or WrestleMania you have Brock versus Roman Reigns. Brock wins the title, he holds it all the way. It changed the landscape when Finn Balor hurt his shoulder. I think
it certainly did. That doesn't mean that Kevin Owens went and won it 2 months later, and then he would have just had a shorter title reign. And
either that, or it would have been a little hot potato issue between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor.
That's another thing. I think they would have kept it on Finn Balor for a little bit. They wouldn't have just taken it off him. They wouldn't have made him the first Universal Champion just to make him the first Universal Champion and then take the title off of him a month later. That makes no sense. There was a story being told there. So you know that Rollins was going to be in a feud with Triple H. They were building to that at WrestleMania. So they were going to just let that go for that 6 months. Yeah, Seth Rollins would have been thrown in the main event picture for that time. But it would have been Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar and all those guys would have been, and Kevin Owens would have been thrown in the main event. That's a match I would have loved to have seen for the title, is Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor.
Not that it couldn't still happen.
Not that it can't still happen.
In some world someday.
Oh, it will. They'll do a shake-up and Finn Balor end up on SmackDown or something.
And Trexter, the fact that you brought up Lesnar doing the shooting star press and landing on his head, there's nothing in his head to be worried about with, so I wouldn't count that as an injury. How you doing, Tara?
Hey, Tara.
Or Ruby.
Uh-oh.
We also saw Broken Cody mention Brock almost killing Randy Orton. I guess it's an injury. It's something he had to take a week off for to recover from, but it was more of an intended one. But man, was that a bloodbath.
Right.
My next topic, if this one's grown a little stale on us, is hailing from. So everyone has where they're from Davenport, Iowa, Seth Rollins, and so on and so forth. But they played with it a lot more in the past, and you'll see, if Undertaker ever gets introduced again, from Death Valley, which was really neat. I mean, it makes no sense. If you think about it, it's not like he fucking works on computers or something. He's a fucking gravedigger, which I'm sure people die in Death Valley and they need people to dig graves.
Hey, Death Valley is in the desert, dude.
It's an actual place.
Yes.
No, I know. That's why I said it's not like he works on computers, because what it is, it's a big technological area.
No, that's Silicon Valley, dude. Death Valley's out in the middle of the desert, dude.
Well, I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know.
You can't live out in Death Valley. It gets way too fucking hot. I mean, you could.
Okay, so it's just an incorporated city where everyone just sits in their house and cries about the weather.
There is. No city.
Someone's got to do something.
There is no city. There's nothing there. It's just a place.
All right, mystery, rough voice, dude. Can you look up Death Valley and see what the economic status is there for us, please? How do they make their money?
At Death Valley, it's sand. They don't make money. I've been there, Drew. That's how I know this.
All right. I thought it was an offshoot of Silicon Valley.
Hi, Ruby.
Sure.
Mascot Ruby.
Typically, Death Valley is where the Blue Angels and the Thundercats practice their aerial stunts for Labor Day weekend.
You mean
okay.
Yeah.
Thunderbirds, not the Thundercats?
But Trexter
I'm
actually...
correcting everybody tonight.
God.
I'm correcting everybody tonight, people.
All right, so anyways, we'll move on from that. And Trexter, you've actually led to where I was going, is the whole parts unknown thing with the warrior. Or the one that I say a lot is Damien Demento's one, which was from the outer reaches of your mind. And that's probably my favorite, is from the outer reaches of your mind with Damien Demento. Is there any hailing froms that you guys remember as being kind of either cute or funny, or wow, that really helped to build the character, like in The Undertaker's case, Death Valley? Heather, we'll start with you on this one.
Didn't they once say that Doink the Clown was hailing from center stage of the Ringling Brothers Circus?
I don't remember that.
Man, if they did, that was a one-off thing. I think I remember him being from Parts Unknown also, because if they didn't know where the fuck he came from, if they didn't have a creative way of figuring out where the fuck he came from, they just went, the clown, he's from Parts Unknown. Bastion Booger, yeah, he must be from Parts Unknown, because I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Kane is still from Parts Unknown. And Parts Unknown just they don't know where he's from, so they just say Parts Unknown.
Hey, I looked it up. There's 281 people living in Death Valley.
How do they make their money? Is there an economic status on that?
Tourism.
It's a national park. It's a national park. So.
All right, so they sell brochures. 281 people sit around a tourist information desk and sell brochures.
I'm the Midnight Jerker, by the way.
You're the what? The Werder?
The Midnight Jerker.
Oh, good God.
Midnight Jerker. Jesus Christ. He's the third member of the Midnight Rockers.
Fucking weirdo. So anyway. Ruby!
So, we've got an invader.
Hi, Ruby.
This is the Midnight Cranker right here.
Hi, Ruby.
Hi, Ruby.
They're saying hi.
Hi.
I got cheesecake just like you did.
Turn my headset off. Was that Heather?
I got cheesecake just like you had last night.
I did have cheesecake. I do have cheesecake.
You do?
She's eating it now. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's a cookie.
So, Ruby, who's your favorite wrestler?
I like that.
AJ Styles?
AJ Styles? Okay. You like Shinsuke Nakamura?
Yeah, I do.
So, you know they're having a match at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, they do.
Who do you think's going to win?
I think it's going to be AJ Styles.
Okay.
Oh.
That's not I could go with that. I could go with that.
Yeah, I can.
I can go with that, Ruby. I want Shinsuke to win, but I could go with AJ Styles. I like AJ Styles too.
Yeah, I do.
Honestly, with this match, there's no losers. I'm sorry.
No, you can't go wrong. So, who do you think's going to win between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns?
Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Who's going to win?
Brock Lesnar.
No,
what?
No, you want Roman Reigns to win.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, she's doing thumbs. He said Brock Lesnar did thumbs down.
Okay.
There you go. Good job.
Boo.
Good girl, Ruby.
We got anything else about wrestling?
Yeah.
What?
What's up? What do you want to know?
Think AJ Styles.
AJ Styles still?
What do you want to know about it?
Yeah, Bailey too.
What about Bailey? Is she going to win?
Yeah.
No, she's not.
I love Bailey.
Do you like Asuka?
Yeah, too.
Do you think
Okay.
Who do you think she's going to wrestle at WrestleMania? Charlotte or Alexa Bliss?
Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
Like that. What do you like about Alexa Bliss?
I think it's just about it.
You think she's about it?
Yeah.
So are you done then?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
bye, Ruby. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Ruby. She screams as she runs away.
All right.
That's
so there we go. We got
that's all right. We got the little kid on the screen and
got the professional expertise.
The cute value just skyrocketed.
She's turning on my Alexa. Alexa, who is Kofi Kingston?
Hey, Alexa, who's Poppy Heat?
Go ask her. She's upstairs. Go ask her. Sorry, she's coming your way now. So we
Good way to pawn her off.
So anyways, so Heather, you were talking about where people hail from, and we were talking about Doink the Clown and where or not he may have been from.
Hey, Lady July 65, thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. I already gave your shout out. This is the person that I was talking about. She's
Hi.
What the fuck is wrong?
She's not like most girls.
Don't listen to the guy that's talking now. He's a little weird. But
I'm the
He's
midnight
got bigger
jerker.
tits than me, so he might pass for a woman at one point in his life.
Right. But thanks for joining. We are talking. What are we talking about now, man?
We're talking about where people
Where they
hail from, and if any of that was impactful or anything sticks out in your mind.
Just a second. Somebody go ahead of me, please.
Well, Heather was
Well,
still in the middle of hers when we got derailed.
It was still on me. So you got time.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Again, the parts unknown shit came out. It's just Shockmaster, the Shockmasters, the Doink the Clowns, the Undertakers, because he started at parts unknown and then moved to Death Valley.
Mm-hmm.
You have Kane, and then Hornswoggle, I think, was also still parts unknown until they started joking about, it's not parts unknown, it's underneath the ring.
From underneath the ring.
Those are always the ones that stuck with me because, it's like, okay, they're the weirdos and they're the ones I want to hang out with when I get older.
Right.
So I was kind of rooted for them.
Let me see. Are you done, Heather? Okay. The Undertaker I like where they have him from, even though it's a real place. And we talked about that. I like where they got him hailing from, even though he is really from Texas in real life. I don't know exactly where in Texas he's originally from. But Death Valley, the Undertaker, you can't go wrong. You can't. The parts unknown, like I said, the parts unknown thing was more along the lines of, like, the Ultimate Warrior. Where is he from? He didn't have a name. So all those, like the Undertaker, the Ultimate Warrior, Kane, those one-person names, like Hulk Hogan. He's just a character that lifted weights or whatever, That's what he was. He's from Venice Beach, California. Is that right? They had him in Venice Beach, even though he was from Florida.
Right.
We go to the modern day guys where most of them hail from big cities, even though they don't live in big cities. Seth Rollins is not from Davenport. He's from a small little town outside of Davenport.
Same with Baron Corbin. I can speak to that.
Exactly.
Not too far from him.
They associate these superstars today with the big cities. Like, if I was a superstar, I'd hail from Madison, Wisconsin, not Dodgeville. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. Mystery, spooky, glowing eyes guy. What you got?
One that always stood out for me was Truth or Consequences, New Mexico.
Mick Foley. Cactus Jack, I believe, was one who used that specifically.
I also hail from a place called Pornhub.com. I'm the Midnight Jerker.
You sound like you would have like this really cool cowboy hat on or something that you use as a condom.
Penis.
So is your favorite singer Conway Twitty? It's like 20.
Damn right.
This is 20 questions with this guy, I guess. I know who it is.
Except for this guy, it's Conway Titty.
I also like that Captain Fanta feller. He's a pretty good feller.
Oh, he's a dick.
Okay, so.
Alrighty, so
Moving on.
Onward. I've got next topic I've got in mind is WCW versus WWF. What did you watch and why?
I'll go first. At first, I watched WCW because guess who was there?
Hogan. Mm-hmm.
Once Hulk Hogan left the WWF, they flipped channel because he wasn't a part of it. So everybody started watching it. Then WWF started catching up again, and then that's when the clique left. Everybody went back to WCW. So, and then the Attitude Era started, and it got to the point. I watched WCW. I'll put it to you simple like that. And then after the NWO thing got stale for me, almost fucking immediately. They were winning all the fucking time. It got really fucking boring. There was no build for any other characters except for those in the NWO. And it just got stale, stupid, and I didn't care.
And there was never anybody to go up against them. They always just joined.
Yes. So, and then I watched the day that I just quit watching WCW was the day that Tony Schiavone said Mick Foley wins the World Heavyweight Championship. I flipped over.
You were one of those.
They're giving us a title match. I want to see it. That was my thinking. So I flipped the channel and I'm like, this is fucking great. He's going up against The Rock, who I knew was the champion. I mean, I watched WWF, but I was more watching WCW just to see what the NWO would do next. That's why I was watching it. And that became the demise of the WCW.
So in a way, both shows also had that evil, not to steal the term, but higher power.
Yeah, but you got to think...
Which one did you get into more as that evil, higher power, I control the world character?
Well, when the NWO, like Heather said, everybody just started joining the NWO because they couldn't beat them. You can't beat them, join them. That was the mantra, right? Mm-hmm. So,
right.
Like they had 25 members of the NWO, and it got diluted. It got diluted. Everybody against Sting is what it was. Pretty much.
And then it became It became four different factions of the NWO.
Yeah, the Wolfpack and the fucking black and white NWO, Hollywood NWO. But the corporate WWF, Mr. McMahon, Shane, Stephanie, The Undertaker, there wasn't all of them. There wasn't 25, 30 of them. It was a faction of 7 or 8. Right?
Right.
You're seriously just going to walk right past that and not realize what you just said?
Me?
Yeah, really.
Oh.
That was a shot.
If nobody catches it, I'm not saying anything.
Well, we caught it.
Did you not see my face?
No, I was paying attention. I was talking.
And that also means that I don't owe one for baiting you into it by throwing that into the topic.
That's true. That's fine. So yeah.
That's what I get for putting your Streamlabs into the chat. I missed it.
Oh.
Streamlabs.
I was busy typing your Streamlabs into the chat, and I missed it.
Okay. 2 shots for trickery. No, because that's just stupid. So anyway, thanks, Lorraine. Thanks. I'll do 2 shots just for that, though. That's actually not a bad. That's what I should do. If you can trick me into it, because usually I'm pretty good. I'll just say it on my own. You don't even have to trick me into it.
Exactly. Just get him going on a topic. It'll just eventually slip out.
It will. But if you can trick me into saying it, I will take 2 shots. Any one of the 4 or 5 things that we got. So yeah, the WWF, the WWE, whatever you want to call it, they didn't have that big 25, 30 person faction. You had your different factions like Degeneration X and corporate, the corporation it was called, and then you just had Stone Cold Steve Austin, who didn't have a faction. He was a loner by himself. You know, there was other smaller factions that weren't, you know.
You had DOA, Los Boricuas, I mean, even the Oddities, even though they weren't any threat by any means, but they were there.
And they only had 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
at most, yeah.
At most. I don't think any
if you
one
count
faction,
Cyrus.
I don't think they had any one faction had any more than 7, 8 people. The Ministry.
You'd be lucky if you saw 6 up. Actually, 6 part of them.
Ruby says, "Daddy needs a shot."
Well, someone needs to get Daddy to say a word.
I think Ruby saying that you need to take a shot is a shot.
Well, we don't know that she said that. That was Tara saying it on her behalf.
Well,
do you have something to say to me?
Yes.
What?
It's about Tara and Dad and they had to do that.
Okay. She wasn't coming down to tell me that, so it's a little bait and switch, I think, or whatever it is. She's on her way down to tell me yet. No, she wasn't. Nice try, though. So, Heather, WCW, WWF, what were you watching and why?
I was mostly watching the WWF using a giant Rottweiler as a pillow with my dad. He never liked WCW, so I never really got the chance to watch WCW until I got the network. It was just like, okay, dude, really? That was a great war going on. We couldn't, really? We had 2 TVs. We could have sat there and had it taken care of that way. But I was definitely all about WWF.
I think what Drew is trying to get at with the question. I mean, WCW was there back in the $1 Million Corporation. That wasn't that.
They fizzled out by the time the Attitude Era began.
They were gone.
The Monday Night War actually technically started around the time they were still there, but they weren't really relevant. But I mean, I guess it qualifies. But they weren't a part of the faction feuds that WWE was having.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So WCW versus... Yes?
I like kissy.
You want a kissy? Oh. Thank you.
And take a shot!
So, WCW versus WWF. I was one... Actually, I'm going to let Bobbit answer. Well, Bobbit's not even here.
Yeah,
Where the hell's Bobbit?
Well, I was going to say, what the hell?
We're going to let the Midnight Jerker answer his portion here, which I would believe he probably wasn't watching at the time.
No, I was watching at the time. The Midnight Jerker was a young jerker back when that was on. We used to switch back and forth. Like, if WCW sucked that day, we went to WWF.
He said WWF. He said WWF.
But, you know, the one thing I liked the most was the Big Balboski. Hello, ladies.
He said WWF.
You broke JP. You, sir, deserve an award.
He said WWF. That was fucking beautiful. Okay. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to fucking lose my shit, people. That was fucking funny, man. I'm sorry. Oh, shit.
He must have gone for another notch to the spank banks. I don't see the glowing goggles anymore.
He's there.
There they are. There they are.
I'm here.
I'm here.
It's funny. It looks like those goggles are actually blinking.
WWF.
I need a beer. Give me a minute.
I was going to say, folks, he's not even drinking yet.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not. Trust me, I'm not broken, man.
Beware the midnight jerker.
Oh, what was that?
So, whoa, hey, I see faces.
Hold on.
Faces. That Pornhub site is turning a little white on you.
What can I say? I make everything white.
You paint the town white, right?
Okay, babe, just donated $10. Thank you, kind sir. You should pop up. I put it in there. Oh my god, I did not.
It may take a second because again it lags.
Oh, I can exit it out of the thing. But thank you, Connor. I appreciate it. I don't know how to bring that donation up. How to replay it. I wonder if you can do that.
I've seen
You
people
should be able
replay
to.
donations before, yeah.
What's that?
You should be able to, yeah.
Sorry about that, Connor. Thank you for the $10, man. It's greatly appreciated.
For sure, definitely. Thank you, Connor.
If I can get that back up, I will for sure play it.
Thank you, kayfabe.
Oh my god.
I will take S.Dollar up on that and put myself at risk of saying a magic word, but Fuckface's $1 billion walk, and not specifically that, but just in general, the different entrances and the different ways people walked out. Like Stone Cold didn't walk too much different than Fuckface, but he did it with a lot more of authority. Was there any memorable walks to the ring? And I want to steer away from the entrance itself because that could we've kind of been there before, but the way people walk to the ring, or that walk from stage to ring,
how do you do that?
Really deep on that.
Send me a DM on how you do that, and I will do it. Mello says you can do it. I just said send me a DM on how to do it.
We heard you.
We kind of heard you, babe. It's good.
Hey, Mello, JP would like you to DM him and show.
I'm gonna fucking kick your ass. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, Bowflex.
Whoa.
We're not there yet, are we? Or are we?
No, we're not.
No, we're not. Asshole. So anyway.
So my thoughts on WWF versus WCW while you're letting Mello slide into your DMs.
Sure, if he wants to. Let me see if I can find it.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, I was a channel flipper. I would bounce back and forth, but I would say 80% of my time, if not a little more, was spent on WWF. I found myself getting lost into one storyline or the other, on one show or the other, and I'd finally just go, you know what, fuck it. WWF is keeping my interest. I'd rather sit through, some nights I'd rather sit through a commercial on WWF than watch WCW. Not all the time. There were definitely some storylines that caught my eye, especially if the NWO was up to some crazy shit. But that, like it has been said in the last 20 minutes, that soured out. And right. I was just like, I don't care. Wait, why are they wearing red NWO shirts? What does that mean? And what does NWO Hollywood mean? I thought I thought the white shirts meant they were just NWO, and why is there the NWO Pornhub stars, and why do they always take their dick out in the ring? I mean, there were so many NWOs. I didn't get it, and I guess I would have had to have watched the entire show every week to get it. Where WWF, you could miss a week and still pick it back up. It wasn't that deep. Maybe that's just the teenager in me at the time trying to think about this. But that's kind of where I settle on that situation.
I don't think it wasn't that deep. I think it was just more they did better at explaining it as the story went on, without repeating themselves.
Right. Well, and one thing, and we can even delve a little deeper on this, it was the creative control that everyone had. Everyone had creative control written into their WCW contracts. And, it started with Hogan and it started with Nash and Hall. But then everyone wanted some piece of the pie to that, and it turned into a clusterfuck of everyone having something to say about their own creativity, thus leading to the finger poke of doom. Jarrett had his say, Hogan had his say, and it turned into a big fuck you, take the fucking title and kiss my ass. And
Goldberg had his say pretty much all the way through his entire title reign.
Apparently so. He must have had the trump card. But yeah, I guess that was where it really started to lose traction, is everyone had a say. The show was changed constantly in the middle of the show. And I have no fucking clue what's going on. Why does everyone...
You're fine. It's because I am fixing something. Just keep talking.
All right. So my next topic was the impact of the NWA. I know JP was around since the early days of the NWA, back in the George Hackenschmidt and even the Luz Thez times, Frank Gotch. How were those matches, JP?
That's how good they were.
I'm sure I'll see it, and I'm sure it involves a middle finger. The early days of the NWA, back in the George Hackenschmidt and still waiting for it. Even the Luz Thez times, Frank Gotch. I must be behind. Matches, oh, yep, there it is.
Really behind.
There it
Wow.
is.
That's how good they were.
It lags sometimes. What the fuck is up with my hair? I just looked at the stream. Anyway, sure I'll see it, and I'm sure it involves a middle finger.
What are we doing here?
Here we go. No, excuse me. Still waiting for it. The NWA. Just a quick summary, because we could do a whole hour and a half on just the fucking NWA and its impact on the industry. But the NWA ran territories all throughout the country, and they shared the talent, especially when it involved the NWA title. And they would let that person tour around to help build the entire product. Enter 1963. What the fuck is up with when Vince McMahon Sr. Anyway. Decided to put the title on Buddy.
Hold on.
Can you stop talking for this? The NWA.
It's like I'm getting doubled. Can you guys hear that?
Because we could do a whole hour and a half on just the fucking NWA and its impact on the industry. But if you're asking me, ran territories all throughout the country. I hear nothing except you. Shared the talent, especially when it involved the NWA.
Look at the stream. Why is YouTube up there?
To help build the entire product. Because you obviously have YouTube up at some place. Check your tabs.
Senior. No, I don't.
Did you copy did you put a link in anywhere?
Oh yeah.
Can you stop talking for this? The NWA.
It's like I'm getting doubled. Can you guys hear that?
Because we could do you have a commercial to play?
Go ahead. Keep going. You're good.
On the industry, but so in 1963, Vince McMahon Sr. put the what became the WWF Championship onto Buddy Rogers. NWA didn't want it. That's what McMahon wanted, and thus the break. Check your tabs.
No. I don't.
Things started to patch up in the early 80s. Fuckface
Put a link in anywhere.
put the title on Hogan and made the final break and went way off on his own, pissing off all the indies, all the NWA territories.
Do you have a
commercial? NWA came back again in the late 80s to take on a company named WCW, Georgia Championship Wrestling, which became WCW. They helped them out for a few years, were their flagship show, and then they broke away. Enter 2002, NWA takes TNA, rinse and repeat. So really, NWA's impact has been so much more than they've gotten credit for, is my opinion on this. And I know I'm babbling a lot on it, but their impact has. They've always been that indie bubble. They've never really had a flagship show. And when they do, they get shat on. I've left out ECW in the mid '90s after WCW pulled away. I guess my topic on this one is, what are your thoughts on NWA's impact throughout the years, and what do you see them being in the future, more importantly, to this discussion? Heather, since you're not having an aneurysm over Streamlabs, I'll ask you first my opinion on this, and I know I'm babbling a lot on it. But
well, with NWA, they were the mainstream.
They've always been that
of everything. They started a whole idea of factions being not only the bad guys, but also being the winners. So with that, it gave you the idea of, okay, yeah, the heel can do it, and the heel can do it well. But it also gave you that, but we don't want them to. It gave that confusion to everybody.
I'll ask you first my opinion on this, and I know
well, with NWA, so with that, it brings it into the future with the building of other factions and the building of, okay, a heel faction can pull it off, provided they do it right, and have it be that the fans do not want them to actually be able to pull it off.
Mm-hmm. Now correct me,
if that made sense.
No, it makes sense. I'm a little off of the current NWA product because they really got shat on here a few years ago by Adam Pearce and Colt Cabana, which I thought was going to be the final nail in the coffin. But is that better? Does like Ring of Honor or currently I see double view.
You're
going to.
It's going to go away in a second. Just keep talking.
Okay. So does anyone have their hand in NWA right now, or are they like? Does Ring of Honor have any sort of deal with them, or obviously TNA doesn't? They burned that bridge, or is it just ran out of NWA Hollywood to this day?
I think it's just out of Hollywood.
Well, if history repeats itself, which it seemed to do for the last 55 years, is they find someone new. And I'm surprised Ring of Honor hasn't. I wonder what the deal is there. And of course, I'm not Joe Cronin or Cat Fucker from New York.
Okay, what are you asking? I'm sorry, I was trying to fix something and I wasn't paying attention. I apologize, everybody, for the fuck up. That's my fault. For some reason, when I added something, it added the YouTube. For some reason, I don't know why. I apologize.
Okay, so
go ahead.
No, that's fine. The chat is actually caught up with us, and they're saying that Billy Corgan has at least a good chunk of the NWA right now, which rings a bell now.
Hold on. The NWA that they have now is a redo. It's not actually NWA. He stood up the company himself and made it. He bought the rights for NWA.
Right, but the lineage is still there. It still goes back to George Hackenschmidt, right?
I think WWF owns that. I think that was part of the deal. I think WWF still owns that part of the lineage. I'm not sure. I'd have to read up on it. But I remember them talking. Yes, but TNA sold their rights to Billy Corgan.
Okay, so, and this has been for several years now. The lineage officially goes back to 1945, but the roots of it can be traced back to George Hackenschmidt's 1905, although not officially. So the current NWA goes as far back as 1948 officially.
Right. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. So, but in my eyes, I still, when I look at the 1905 World Championship, I still look at NWA having that original unbroken lineage, and there being branches on the tree. You've got the WWF branch, you've got the WCW, you've got the TNA, the ECWs. It's just branches on a tree, but the trunk leading all the way up is the NWA.
Right.
That's how I view it in my mind.
Yeah.
Regardless of what Wikipedia or Pro Wrestling, whatever, or
yes,
Dick Lovers Anonymous calls it.
You're fine.
It's all what's in my mind is what's in my mind.
Right.
Reign Tim Storm, I have not seen any of his matches, but for a 50-year-old dude, that guy is a motherfucking beast. And I need to go watch some of his matches. So I guess we've ran that discussion through. So I've also got unexplained gimmicks. And I guess I wrote that wrong when I took my notes, but gimmicks that, and I know this one's going to strike a chord with you, JP, but an example would be Rusev Day. A gimmick that got over with no explanation. Like, whoever would have thrown that on the table would have likely been fired on day one, but somehow it made it to the final show.
I'm going to make that a shot, by the way. Anybody that says Rusev Day, going to have to take a shot.
It's Rusev Day!
You just need to take a shot for... You sound fucking horrible. Just take a shot. Just take a fucking shot. You sound horrible.
Well, why don't you take 3 shots, because that made my ears bleed.
No, I don't want that to happen because we might need him later.
You ready?
Yeah. It's 2 seconds.
I've been looking for an excuse.
Ready? 1,001, 1,002. That's a shot. Or just keep fucking drinking. I don't care. So
1,006, 1,007.
So I just hate that term. Somebody please tell me what Rusev Day is.
It's a shot
What is
to you.
Rusev Day? Yes, and that's fine. I don't have liquor here. So we'll add it to my 35 shots that I owe. All right? I don't know what it means. But I'm not going to force anybody to take a shot. I need somebody to explain this to me. It makes absolutely no sense. Stop eating that cannoli like that.
How else do you eat a fucking cannoli?
You eat a fucking cannoli. You don't suck on it like a penis. I'm just saying.
It's like you were breathing it in. What, are you smoking the cannoli? Did you light the end of it? Puff, pass the cannoli.
You're giving the jerker something to jerk to. I mean, shit.
I don't know about that one. Yeah, just saying.
You don't find her attractive? What's wrong with you?
Uh-oh.
Sick mother.
You're
I
a
never
bored
said
man.
I'm just kidding. So, anyway, whatever.
And I needed the filling to put the fire in my mouth out, so just relax.
All right, you're good. I'm just giving you a hard time. Just being funny, so you're good. But no, I want somebody to explain to me, what is Rusev Day? Why is every day Rusev Day? WWE doesn't, that's like fucking 5 more shots. WWE, not every day is Rusev Day. There's another shot.
Well,
Every fucking
JP,
day,
let me save your sobriety
let
for
me
the next
finish.
year.
Monday and Tuesday are the only fucking days. No, excuse me. Tuesday is the only day that needs to be Rusev Day. But it's not a day.
Anyone counting?
It's not a holiday, people. It's not a holiday. Do you think SmackDown is a fucking holiday? Because if you think SmackDown is a fucking holiday, you need to quit smoking dope. Okay, I'm done ranting. There's a rant for today.
Can October 17th be that day? Would you be okay if someone picked a day?
Sure, pick a day. One day can be Rusev Day. There's another shot. One day. One day can be Rusev Day. There's another shot.
I don't think there's enough in this bottle, JP. Good thing you're not here. You drink me out of fucking Maker's Mark.
Oh, I won't do that. I'll run to the liquor store and buy a bottle of Cherry Doctor. But I mean,
how about this? So our discussion is unusual gimmicks that
the day Rusev wins a championship, that will be Rusev Day.
There's another shot. Thank you very much.
I
think we're up to 9.
Is that fair, people? And then I will get on board with. But you can't say Rusev Day every fucking day. Every time you see him, you can't say it.
I need to stop looking at the chat, you crazy bastards. All right.
No, he's got to win the title.
I know, Drew. It's 8.
So we're on the topic now of gimmicks that unexpectedly got over. I'd like to open the phone lines now. Anyone in the chat who would like to call in and give their opinion, I think this would be a great time to hear from the other 21 people out there.
The one I will say this: the one gimmick that they never thought would get over, but it's over, and they're allowing them to do it, is Elias. That is one gimmick. Because you know how WWE is. They will shut that gimmick, i.e. what happened on Tuesday. They are going to shut that gimmick down so fast. How about gimmicks that don't work? Fucking Woken Matt Hardy. Not going to work. Not going to work.
Man,
gimmick
you know what?
That's still over is Captain Fanta. That's the best gimmick around.
Captain Fanta is a cartoon character on WWE 2K18.
I'll tell you what day is every day. Every day is S. Dollar Day.
Okay.
Where you from, bro? I love you, man. No, so anyone who would like to join the call and give us your example on any topic, really, as I throw this thing in my face. Let's see how many times I get to hit myself with this fucking thing. No, anyone who's got anything to say on any of these topics, or especially the topic that we're on now, gimmicks that
See you later,
unexpectedly got over.
See you later, Adam. Thanks for being here, brother.
Hey. Cheers, Adam. So, anyone who would like to call in, please throw it in the chat. Tag one of us if you'd like. That'd help make it a little easier to catch. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Trexter mentioned Bad News Barrett, one that Joe mentioned earlier today on one of his little podcasts. And I say little, meaning short, but one of his podcasts where he mentioned Bad News Barrett getting the fucking shaft. When my friends were split on that, but I wanted to see more of that. That was the one time I wanted to see the World Championship on Wade Barrett.
Hey, Rain.
Was during Bad News Barrett.
The reason why WWE got the rights to use TNA Broken Hardy gimmick or footage is because Matt Hardy owns the footage. It's all up to Matt Hardy if he wants to give it up to WWE. It's not up to WWE if they can use it. It's up to Matt Hardy. But it'll ruin what fucking WWE's trying to do.
Cucumber.
Jesus Christ.
Or if you want to call in and talk to the Midnight Jerker.
Yes, if you have any questions for the Midnight
girl.
If you have any questions for the Midnight Jerker, he will be happy to come in your mouth.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And I'll be yelling WWF.
Oh, man. I don't know why that's so funny, other than the fact that JP dives.
Listen to the way he said it. You should tell me a WF. Sounds fucking hilarious.
All right. Well, the phone lines are quiet tonight. If you want to call in, you will be the first one in. Just squirt it out and say it.
Squirt it out and say it.
Yeah, watch, Merge actually shows up for that one.
Captain Fanta will be the first caller.
Are we entirely sure that the Midnight Stroker, or the Midnight Jerker, as you call him, is not indeed Captain Fanta in the shadows?
Ooh.
Trust me, he can't handle this penis.
Oh, Jesus.
His orange drink would be white. All right. Well, unexpected. I keep saying unexpected. Gimmicks that unexpectedly went over. Mine is the S movement, because if you remember, it started out as a heel Daniel Bryan celebrating his world championship win, and he was being a fucking asshole by running around saying yes. And that one, to me, like, that annoyed the fuck out of me. And then when he started doing the no thing, I'm like, okay, a little variety, I can deal with this for a while, but somewhere, somehow, and maybe one of you guys can help me out with this, but where did the yes movement become cool? Where? Because I'm sure it got annoying for everybody.
Oh, I can answer this very, very easily for you. The very fucking second that Triple H and Stephanie McMahon fucking sat there and turned around and said, "No, we don't like you, Daniel Bryan. You are not the face of the company. You will never be the face of the company." As soon as that fucking happened, that's when the yes movement was logged.
Yep.
But it didn't happen overnight. Yeah, I don't remember it happening overnight.
Fuck it did.
It pretty much did. And it's simply because of the fact that they were stomping on somebody that was not the norm. You had somebody who was not over 6 foot tall, 270 something pounds, and was not a fucking steroided out, was not a fucking pretty boy, going for the main title.
Would it be when Randy Orton cashed in and Triple H gave him the pedigree? Is that when it happened?
So the immediate time, Heather is right. The immediate time the yes movement went way the fuck over. It took way the fuck off when Daniel Bryan won the title. And then you're exactly right. When he pedigreed, that's when he won the title from Cena, right?
Yes.
And he pedigreed, Triple H pedigreed him. Randy Orton was the Money in the Bank. He cashed it in, won the title.
That's the night I'm talking about.
Right then and there is when the yes movement went over, because from there on out, Daniel Bryan, like from the following Monday, he says, "I'm doing a yes movement," and that went and skyrocketed and took off. That's when it took off.
But that's the same night I was just mentioning. I forgot that it was Cena Daniel Bryan, because those seemed like two separate nights in my mind for whatever reason. But
it kind of was, because John Cena made his selection of who he was going to fight for WrestleMania for the title. And that's when Stephanie and Triple H started sitting there saying, "Listen, we respect your choice. We look at you as one of our best champions ever. But are you sure you want to pick somebody like Daniel Bryan? He's not exactly up to your level." Trying to play that reverse psychology with him. And that's when people started sitting there going, "Wait, they're stepping on Daniel Bryan with all this?"
Even though he was over.
He was over. He had the talent. He had the mic skills. He had everything. He was set in place to be the next champion, until something happened and they decided to change it all around.
Was Roman Reigns up there?
Fuck concussions.
No.
Was Roman Reigns up there yet?
They were Shield at that time. Actually, not even. They weren't even up yet, because they came up during CM Punk's Eternal Reign.
Yes.
So
because
they played a part in that.
This is 2010, 2011.
Yeah, and You know, I remember, and maybe it was because of my disdain at the time for John Cena, but I remember Daniel Bryan, and first of all, Daniel Bryan need the fuck out of John Cena, and I'll never forget that. But I remember coming out of my seat for that win. I remember being happy that he won, so I feel like it happened even before then, unless my disdain for Cena was that deep at the time.
It was just that deep because that was when Daniel Bryan won the title from him, and then that following Monday, Randy Orton cashed in, Triple H pedigreed Daniel Bryan, and Randy Orton won the title.
Thus being two separate nights, yeah.
Exactly.
How about this? A gimmick that was unexpectedly over, and this is coming from Fuckface, Finn Balor.
Who?
That's why he won the Universal title the first time. Fuckface. That's why
you're saying Finn Balor was unexpectedly over?
Yes. Well, he's now unexpectedly over.
See you later,
They tried burying him. See you later, Lady July 65. Thanks. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Just join us every Wednesday. I will try, or every Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I'm here. I do a stream on Saturday, but it's usually not wrestling related. But Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I do streams.
Trexter, that's what I was thinking, but I've drank since then, so I was going along with the more intelligent person in the room.
Sometimes, not all the time.
What's that?
Sometimes, not all the time.
Okay. You know, and Ruby's gonna love me.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Is it me, or is Heather quiet on everyone's end?
No, it was just, I don't know.
Okay.
You're fine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Another one, Ruby's going to love me for this one, but it does stand out to me, is the Boogeyman. That was a time where I got back into it. From 03 to 07, I gave up cable in 03. And I got cable back in 06, but I just kept doing my thing and kind of forgotten about WWE.
Right.
That, and I was a single guy. I was doing my thing, whatever. But it was actually the Bowflex incident that got me back in. And that was around the time the Boogeyman was still around making headway. And I really liked him. I don't ever think putting a title on him would have done any good for the character, especially at his age. But, yeah, I saw it. But I really liked what he did. The cute little 5-minute segments. He either got his ass kicked and it sucked, or he went against a jobber or someone on the low end of the spectrum, and he did his little worm thing and his little gyrating fucking whatever. And I wish I could dance like him.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes on what you don't like, and just to make her cringe at times, just to get a laugh out of her. The Boogeyman. Do the Boogeyman.
Well, while we're on this topic, and never mind, it did not go through. So go ahead, JP.
What did not go through? What the fuck are you talking?
No, just go ahead.
He's trying to do something. I swear to God, if it's a picture, I will hang up.
No, you're good. I didn't have anything, but what do you want me to talk about?
Oh, I thought you were starting to say something.
Oh no, I was just saying I'm going to take notes. I'm going to do the Boogeyman when I go to see Heather in April.
You really do not want to get laid, apparently.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to do it. Shit. God damn.
You're going to do the crazy gyration and...
No.
Oh, I see what I did.
No, you're good.
I see what I did.
Give you 3 seconds. 1.
All right, well, 3 seconds
3.
is up, and we have a special guest here on the call. We have Broken Matthew that would like to give his input on some topics.
Matthew,
tonight.
turn down your
What's
radio
up, Matthew?
or mute it. Turn down your
My
radio
what?
or mute it. If you're listening to
What
Turn
radio?
the stream down. Stream.
I don't have it on. I was watching it on my phone.
Okay.
It was echoing through your headset.
It's all right. Now
I can close out.
Oh, no, you got an echo, Matthew, just a natural echo. I don't know if you got your speakerphone on and you're like near a wall. It's just a natural echo.
That's what it was. I had speakerphone on. That's probably what it was.
Okay. You can turn it off. You're good.
So I missed a lot of the stream. So what are some of the topics y'all covered, and I'll give my opinion on it. I missed some of it.
Well, right now we're talking about gimmicks that unexpectedly got over. We also did just injuries in general, injuries that stood out to you. WCW versus WWF, which might have been a little before your time. Sorry to shout you out on that, but and the NWA
way before my time.
Right, and then the NWA impact on wrestling.
What?
Thanks. Oh yeah, way before my time. Fuck you.
I said it like that because I knew it would trigger you.
So, anyways, anything that you've heard, or just wrestling memories in general. I know yours are probably a little short. No offense, but you've got the WWE Network, where you've had access to it at some point. So, what memories do you have?
Some of my earliest memories were like Cena versus Rock. Because, there was a point in time where I didn't watch because my stepbrothers were like, it's not cool to watch. And so I stopped watching. Sorry about that.
Oh, man. Gee, he's competing with Heather on those. Nice.
A mixture between Sprite, a chicken sandwich, and fries, it'll do that to you.
Let me say something real quick. Do not fucking call me on Skype. If you want to talk to us, ask us in the chat. I fucking say this. How many times? I say this once a stream. Do not call us. We will add you. Thank you.
Is this someone who should know better, or is this someone who hasn't been around a lot?
It's someone who knows, and we said it to him 3 times before. Go ahead, Matt. What were you saying?
Damn it, Mello.
It wasn't Mello.
Oh, no, I know. I'm kidding. Anyways, man.
But Cena versus Rock, I remember that, and I was like, I remember I was really excited for that. I was really young, so I cried when Cena lost.
You're weird.
I was like, okay, JP, I was like, wait, how many years ago was that?
I know.
That was how many years ago was that? That was 5, 6 years ago, 7?
No. I wouldn't go that far.
Trying to think about how old I was.
Maybe 4.
It was WrestleMania 27, so 4 was 30.
That's 6. It's 6 because WrestleMania 34 is coming up, right?
So yes, so I was 10 at that time. So I was 10 at that time. So
okay.
Yeah, that was a good memory.
I can understand
that match. I remember really enjoying that match. CM Punk versus Cena, of course. It's one of my favorites.
What's your earliest memory? I'm curious.
My earliest
memory, like your first time watching wrestling, or your first time you remember you watching wrestling.
Oh Lord, hold on, I gotta think a second.
Don't think too hard.
Did you ever come across it during Kurt Angle still being around, or
I've been watching pretty much all my life because my dad watched it, so I instantly was watching it since a young age. And my very first memory, oh wow, that's a tough one. Would probably be Cena versus Edge. Probably my first memory.
That was good. That was a feud.
I've asked this question. The reason I was intrigued about this is I've asked Sausage the same question before. And it was, I think it was a little more recent than that. I'm sorry, Sausage, if I'm wrong there, but because you guys are within
14, not 16.
Right.
Almost 17. Almost 17.
I feel like he was several years more in front of Matthew on this one, but I could be wrong. This was after him and I were on a show with Clam Baked one night. We were bullshitting afterwards, and I'd been drinking.
Shocking.
Another one of my earlier memories is when we were at my dad's buddy's house, and he turned on TNA, and I was like the whole mystique of AJ Styles intrigued me. So like he's always been one of my favorites ever since TNA. I just kind of forgot about who he was until I got back into wrestling, and I was like, oh, I remember him. He's awesome. So yeah, that's a couple of my earlier memories.
Nice.
Seeing AJ and a lot of Cena memories because that was like really all I paid attention to when I was little was Cena.
What?
Well, that was
gimmick?
the whole point of John Cena, really.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, Cena's awesome. But I also liked like Edge and a few other people. I thought Kofi Kingston was awesome.
Do you remember his feud with Randy Orton, where Randy Orton got this new decked out car with
Cena or Kofi Kingston?
No, Orton and Kofi. No, it was Kofi and Orton. And Orton was in the ring, and he had gotten this brand new car with his face on the hood. And Kofi started dumping paint and stomping on the thing backstage while Orton was in the ring.
I vaguely remember that. Vaguely.
Kofi damn near fell on his ass. That was my favorite part of that. Was he dumped the paint and then he started stomping on it.
Yeah.
But
how can I forget?
That was Kofi was at his best there.
One of my biggest memories, how can I forget about this, was Bragging Rights 2009. That was one of my favorite pay-per-views for a long time.
You're going to have to help me out with that one.
Go ahead.
The Fatal 4-Way was awesome. The Iron Man match was really cool.
Who was in those matches?
It was Rey Mysterio, Batista, Undertaker, and I think it was Punk in the World Heavyweight. Yeah, it was Punk in the World Heavyweight title match. And then Cena versus Orton for the WWE title. And then they had the Raw versus SmackDown. Had like Jericho. I think Kofi won the U.S. title at the beginning of the night from, I think it was Chris Masters. I'm not.
You said Punk and Undertaker. This was during their feud.
Punk, Undertaker, Ray, and Batista. Fatal 4-Way.
Okay. So keep going, guys. I am going to show you something. You guys know who Rob Schamberger is?
Nope.
He's the guy who does the like watercolor designs for WWE, and they put them on shirts.
Oh, I've heard the name. I've seen it on YouTube. I just never watched it.
Yeah, that's
He's actually from Kansas City.
Can't do anything about that.
And I own this. If my mother-in-law is still watching, my mother-in-law, father-in-law, this was actually Punk and Undertaker's feud. Although Undertaker looks like Lieutenant Worf from Star Trek, but it is a watercolor, so we'll give him a pass on that. But sorry, it just made me think of that when you said Punk and Undertaker. But go ahead.
What? I was trying to see what you were pulling out.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, if you're watching the stream, there it is.
Gimmicks that won't really meant to get over. Well, like I said, Bad News Barrett. Well, Ty Dillinger at this point, pretty much not meant to get over, but he did and got punished for it. I can't really think of too many. Broken Matt Hardy wasn't really like they were trying to get him over, but it wasn't really working at first, but it eventually caught on.
Well, once see, and I keep saying this, that gimmick will not get over. It's over just because of what happened at TNA. That gimmick will die.
Are you talking the original?
I'm talking about the original.
The original gimmick was not over until they brought Rebby Hardy, Senor Benjamin, Jeff Hardy, Vanguard 1, and Maxwell.
Well,
the only way that gimmick will work is if they do that. But I've been hearing that they're not even going to put Jeff Hardy in there, which that's wasting fucking time and resources.
I think they should move Matt to SmackDown.
The whole purpose of the gimmick is it's a family thing. They aren't going to do it. WWE will not. They don't have the patience.
Well, maybe it might happen because Triple H is starting to get more control. That was reported today that Triple H is starting to get a little bit more
taking over the WWE. Vince McMahon.
Did I say take over?
No. Hold on. I heard that too. He's taking over 205 Live and NXT. Fuckface. I know. I heard. Fuckface is still gonna have control over SmackDown and Raw. Everybody needs to stop. Did you guys not pay attention to the stream when Vince McMahon, there it is again, did the press conference? He said things will remain the same as far as Raw and SmackDown. I am not going anywhere. I am bringing people in to run XFL. He is not going anywhere. So everybody that thinks he is not. Just stop with the rumors, because it's not happening. Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry, I just wanted to put that out there. I seen that today. It's not going to happen.
I took one off your total asshole. Go fuck yourself.
Sure, whatever.
Hey, JP, I got something to say to you, though.
Yeah.
That's a shot.
I already know. I said it like 4 times, and it's fine.
We're running up against the clock here. One thing I wanted to say about the broken Matt Hardy, the original gimmick, one reason it didn't get over right away is you got to remember, there was only 250,000 people watching that show. And by the end of the gimmick, there was 750,000. It took that. It had to build traction. It's just like you could look at YouTube and the shows that start up with 1 or 2 viewers, and then you get to that point where you have 22 viewers, and you get up to that point where you're like Ken, you've got 150, and so on and so forth. It doesn't happen overnight, and people aren't going to discover it. Even though you may even have lightning in a bottle. But if only 2 people are watching, who the fuck's going to know about it?
Right. Yeah.
I testify. Drew, I can testify to that. I got 100 subs in a month, so.
Yeah. So
I mean, it is possible.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Well, you had everyone and their mother in that stream that meant anything in this community. This family.
Yeah, 400 views on the Joe Cronin interview. I mean, shit.
All right.
Well, that was like, what, my 5th video?
Hold on. We're running up against it. Heather's got it. She's going to do her show. So I hate to do this to everybody. We can carry this conversation on next week. Matthew, if you want to call in, like, right away, and we'll carry on this conversation, we could just go back. We'll carry on this conversation because there's more to it, I'm sure. But Heather's got her show. She needs to get ready for it. I think she's ready for it. I don't know. So we're going to end it here. I want to thank everybody for showing up. You know how to follow me, but Drew, go ahead and Heather, you go ahead and shout out your stuff, like right now, because I know you have to go.
Well, as most of you know, the return of the tattooed masses after a 2-month hiatus is finally coming. It'll probably be this Sunday. It's not going to be live, just so you know. It's going to be a pre-recorded show. So if things go well, he possibly so ready to go. Get going. For tonight, though, once they are done here, follow us on my channel for the return of Rage and Ink. For tonight, you will get a very in-depth, colorful tell-all about what's been going on with my life for the past month. So, buckle up, buttercups. It's going to be that kind of night. And I am going to head out there to get everything set up.
All right, love you. I'll see you in a little bit.
Aww. Was that breaking up for everyone else?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Okay, so just to elaborate here in a couple minutes on the channel Tattooed Mistress will be Rage and Ink tonight. The Tattooed Masses, after a 2-month hiatus, will be on this Sunday night, and you can find that on the Tattooed Masses channel. So I just want to make sure that was cleared up for everybody, just in case it didn't come through very well. JP, floor is back to you.
Well, you shout out. Okay, so you know how to follow me. Follow Drew at Gatekeeper5150. He's my co-host on the show every Thursday. It's good times. You can follow. Apparently, Foulmouth Mike Bobbitt decided not to fucking show up tonight, but apparently the Jerker did.
The Jerker.
You can follow Foulmouth Mike at Foulmouth Mike. He also has Swamp Ass Podcasts. The Jerker apparently loves Captain Fanta. So I'm going to end Captain Fanta. He took the title off me, but I get a rematch at Bobbitt Mania, which I don't know when that's going to happen because apparently Bobbitt's not here. I was going to have him shout that out tonight, but that's okay. So we will find out when that is. It'll probably have to be whenever, but we will let you all know when that takes place. Y'all, I love you. I will see you on Saturday when we do just chatting about what the fuck ever I want to talk about. It won't be wrestling, though, I can tell you that. But I want to thank Broken Matthew for being here tonight, and we will pick up where we left off with you if you want to next week, for sure.
For sure, JP.
All right, not a problem, man.
So, hashtag Broken Matthew with 1 T
well, I was
on
gonna
YouTube.
I was going to let him shout this shit out.
Oh, sorry. I just, yeah. Go ahead, Matthew. All right.
Okay.
So go ahead,
YouTube.
Go ahead.
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all Broken Matthew. You'll find it. Trust me. I'm gonna return. I'm gonna try to have a more consistent YouTube thing because I've been on and off for like 3-4 weeks because a lot of stuff's been going on. But I'm gonna return Broken Podcast probably tomorrow night at like 12. No, not. Let's monetize this. Saturday at like 12. Something like that.
Do it.
I'll figure it out.
Why don't you do it now? I'll talk to you. You should do it an hour before, but go ahead. Or maybe.
Oh, no. I like Broken Podcast to be like longer, like 3-4 hours, so I'll probably do it Saturday, Sunday, something.
Sunday?
I'll figure it out. I gotta find a day to do it.
All right, man. Well, that being said, we'll carry on this conversation next week. I love you guys, and I will talk to you all